Today we're going to learn how to generate PDF documents with Python code by using a package called reportlab. This can be super useful if you have some automation use cases, for example, writing invoices or sales reports. If you like this video, let me know by hitting a like button and subscribing, but now let us get right into it. Alright, so as I mentioned, this is going to be super useful if you have some automation use cases. Many companies want to automate stuff that has to do with the creation of PDFs. They want to create invoices, they want to create sales reports. They want to take some data and programmatically turn it into a portable document, which is a PDF. So this is what we're going to learn today, and we're going to start right away by installing the package called reportlab. For this, I'm going to open up a terminal. Let me briefly zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. The default way to install packages, of course, pip or pip3 install package name. In our case now, that would be reportlab. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use UV, the Rust-based Python package manager. So in my case, UV init, UV add reportlab. Both are equivalent. I just prefer the tooling of UV. So when I do this, I have it installed here. I also have a virtual environment, as you can see here. And when I open up the main py file, let me zoom out again. Either my VS Code is automatically going to recognize it. In this case here it does. You can see here 3.11 tutorial. This is the venv of this directory. You can also change it here if you want to. And here we're now going to write our code. I'm going to start with a very basic example. I want to show you 3 examples in this video today. The first one is going to be just hello world. I want to have a blank PDF with a simple text hello world in it to show you how to use this package. The second example will be a little bit more advanced. We're going to use charts and tables for creating a sales report or something that tries to be a little bit like a sales report. And finally, I'm going to show you also the code for an invoice. This one we're not going to write from scratch. I just want to show you what you can do with this package if you invested time into it. So how can we do a basic hello world? Quite simple. We say from reportlab.pdfgen import canvas. Then we're going to create such a canvas. So I'm going to say here C is equal to canvas.canvas. I provide the name of the PDF I want to create. Let's say hello.pdf. And then basically I just draw a string. So I'm going to draw a string onto the canvas that is going to say hello world. And that's basically it. So all I have to do is I have to say c.drawString. Then what I need to provide is X and Y coordinates. Let's go with 100 and 100. And then I'm just going to say hello world. Finally, just c.save. And when I run this now, you will see that when I open up the file explorer, I get this hello.pdf. And down here, you can see hello world. So 100, 100 means 100 to the right, 100 up, so to the top. So if I want to change that, I can also say I want to have the text upper in the PDF. So I have to change the Y value to something else. Let's go, for example, with 700. So if I run this again now, what happens is I get hello world up here. That's the simplest thing that you can do with reportlab. Cool. So now let us move on to a more advanced example. We're going to do a couple more imports now. I'm going to start by saying from reportlab.lib import colors. So we're going to also have some styling here now. From reportlab.lib.page sizes, we're going to import A4. So we have standardization formats here. I'm going to say from reportlab.lib.styles import get sample style sheet. Then from reportlab.platypus import, and now here we're going to import a bunch of things: spacer, paragraph, table, and of course the simple doc template. So these are the UI elements that we're going to add here. In addition, also from reportlab.graphics.charts.bar charts. From here, we're going to import the vertical bar chart. And finally, from reportlab.graphics.shapes import the drawing class. So these are the imports, and in our sales report that we have here now in this file that we're going to generate here with this file, we're just going to have some sales numbers in a table. We're going to also visualize them, and we're going to have some spacing, and that's basically it. I just want to show you how you can do something a little bit more complicated, and then I want to show you in the third example something quite useful and impressive, an actual invoice with a logo and everything, but there I'm just going to scroll through the code to save some time. But here we're going to do it from scratch. So we're going to start now by saying the document is a simple document template. Here we need to specify the name, so report PDF, and I also need to specify the page size, which is A4. Then we're also going to create a styles object. I'm going to say here styles is equal to get sample style sheet. Here we can customize it then. This is just like a base template. And now we can add stuff to this document. So let us get started with a title. Let's say this is going to be our sales report. I'm going to use a paragraph for this, and I'm going to say sales report, neural 9 tutorials, I don't know, 2025. And the style I want to use here for this particular paragraph, I'm going to say here is styles, and then like a dictionary here, I'm going to say title with a capital T. This is going to make this to a title, not just to some text in the PDF. Then we're also going to come up with some sales data. For this, I'm just going to copy paste a simple dictionary. We just have 3 products, alpha, beta, and gamma. These have sales in the different quarters. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 for the different products here. And that is just going to be the base data, or the data that we base our report on. So what we want to do with this data now is, on the one hand, we want to visualize it in a chart, but we also want to put it into a table. And for the table now, I'm going to create a separate object. We're going to say table underscore data is equal to, this is going to be a list, and every entry in this list is going to be a row. So the row is going to be a list itself. And the first one is going to be the heading, or the header of the table. It's going to be product Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to remove the content. I'm going to say alpha, and then I'm going to say plus sales data alpha. This is going to just take this as the product, and then it's going to take these values and add them here to the list. So we have, again, 5 values. One is the product and the other one are the sales in the quarters. I'm going to copy this and do the exact same thing for beta and for gamma. Now, to take this data and to turn it into a table in the PDF, all we have to do is we have to create a table object. So I can say here table is equal to table. And theoretically, I would just have to pass the table data, but we also want to have some styling. We want to have bold text for the header row. We also want to have a grid and all that. So what we're going to do here is some customization. I'm going to say style is equal to a list, and this list will contain now information about the grid and also information about the font of the first row. How do I do that? By passing tuples. So the first one is going to have grid as a keyword. Then we need to specify a range, and I want to specify the range from the upper left to the bottom right. So in my case here, 0, 0 going until -1, -1, meaning the last cell. So from the upper left to the bottom right, what we're going to do is we're going to have a grid and we're going to have a certain color. So I want to have 0.5 opacity and the color has to be gray. So colors dot gray. For the font of the header, what we're going to do is I'm going to say new tuple. It's going to be font name. Now we need to specify that we're only targeting the first row. How do I do that? Same idea as before, 0, 0 up until still 0. So still first row, but last column. So just take all the columns of the first row. What do we want to do with them? We want to set them to a bold font. So in my case here, Helvetica -bold. That's basically it for the table. Let me now also remove this comma here. I don't think it will cause problems, but I like it when it's clean. And now we're going to take this and turn this into a chart as well. So I'm going to say chart itself is going to be a drawing at a certain position, let's say 400, 200. And then now for this chart, I'm also going to create a bar chart. And this bar chart is going to be an instance of vertical bar chart. The data of this bar chart will be set to be equal to, and now we need to take the sales data from above again by just saying here, we have sales data alpha, sales data beta, and sales data gamma. That's the idea. So this is just the raw data that we're going to visualize here in the bar chart. We also want to see what actually is being plotted, so what quarter we're talking about. For this, I'm going to say here bar chart dot category axis dot category names is going to be equal to, and now here we're just going to say Q1, 2, Q3, and Q4. So that is that. Then we also want to specify the range of the value axis. So I'm going to say here bar chart value axis value min. That is going to be 0, and value max is going to be the max value of these values here plus 10%. So value max is going to be equal to max of, let's call it X times 1.1 to add 10% on top. 4x in bar chart dot data. And then we can also specify a step size. So value step is going to be 50. Cool. And now we just need to do 2 more things. We need to say chart dot add. Then we need to add the bar chart to the actual chart. And finally, we can just say doc dot build. And we add all the elements that we want to have in the PDF. So we want to start here at the top with the title, so with this paragraph. Then we want to have a spacer with 0 width, but with 12 height. So we just want to have a vertical spacer. And then what we want to do is we want to add the chart and the table. Or maybe the other way around. Let's do the table first and then the chart, because that's the order that we created this in. But basically that's it. If I didn't make any mistakes, now when I run this, I get, of course, an exception because it's not just value step, it's value axis.value step. So when I run this now, we run this successfully, report.pdf, and there you go, sales report, neural 9 tutorials. There you have the numbers and there you have the visualization. Now, last but not least, as promised, a more comprehensive example of an invoice that is being completely generated in Python using reportlab. Here we also have a logo that we put into the invoice. This is something that we're not going to code from scratch. I just want to show you the code so you get some inspiration. You will also find all the code of this video today on my GitHub. So you will also find a link in the description below to my GitHub. But this example here, quite simple, has image, paragraph, X pre-formatted. So we have the line breaks in here and a couple of tables. That's basically it. When I run this now with a logo present in this directory, I get something like this. This would be a sample invoice where I have the information, the company information, the recipient information, the services or the packages that were sold, then also some calculation here, some notes, some copyright. That is something that you can use to automate your invoice processing. If you want to use PDF documents directly, you can do that here easily with reportlab and Python. So that's it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something. If so, let me know by hitting a like button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, if any of you guys are interested in one-on-one tutoring or any services that I can offer, you can find on my website a tutoring tab and a services tab where you can see what I have to offer. You can scroll down and contact me via mail or LinkedIn there. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Besides that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you much for watching. See you in the next video and bye.